In our traditional networks, there are many different touch points, many different protocols, lots of manual configuration, and this is all being configured in different silos. To maintain, manage, and operate our traditional networks, it's very complex. With this complexity, there are issues, security incidents, operational errors, high failure rates, and of course the dreaded downtime. Hi, I'm Stephen Wrinkle. I'm a systems engineer located in Connecticut. I'm here today to demonstrate that there's a better way to manage your networks. To demonstrate this, I will be using Cisco's Digital Network Architecture Center, also known as DNA-Center. DNA-Center is the network management and command center for Cisco's intent-based networking. DNA-Center accomplishes a lot of different tasks. I won't have enough time to go through all of them by the end of this demo, but there are a few different objectives that I hope you can take away. First, DNA-Center can save you time. Second, DNA-Center can simplify your everyday workflow. And third, I hope to show you that with DNA-Center, there are better ways to manage your networks, and that you will receive that feeling of, wow, I didn't know that I could do that. I didn't know that there were tools out there that would let me do something like that. So with all that, let's jump into the demo. DNA-Center has 5 main components: designing the network, setting policy, provisioning that policy, assuring the network operates as designed, and platform to programmatically access your network through APIs. For today, I'm going to run through a high-level overview of each tab and talk about a few use cases. Here at the Design tab, this is where you design your network using physical maps and logical topologies for quick visual reference. You can build your maps from scratch or directly input maps you have created previously in Cisco Prime. Here in the Policy tab, this is where you define user and device profiles that facilitate highly secure access and network segmentation based on business needs. This is where intent-based networking shines. The Cisco DNA-Center, you can create virtual networks, traffic policies, application policies, IP-based and access control policies, and you can create a policy with a few simple clicks. Let me rewind and go back to my point that I made earlier about our traditional networks that are complex and difficult to operate. To make changes to segmentation policies, you traditionally need to drive into long access control lists. Some of you, if you were lucky, you wrote those, but often these access control lists were inherited from previous engineers that no longer work for the company. This is incredibly difficult to make changes. But with DNA-Center, when you are working with intent-based networkings, it's much easier. See here, I can block BYOD devices from reaching guest endpoints. Gone are the long lines of access control lists used to manage segmentation in your local area networks. Here in the Provision tab is where we enforce the policies we just created. Once the policies are created, provisioning is as simple as clicking on the device and selecting Provision Device. Another really cool feature in the Provision tab is Software Image Management, SWIM for short. You can select the device and do software image upgrades directly from here. So I'm just going to take another pause. How many engineers currently keep their switch software up to date with the most recent versions and patches recommended by Cisco? I imagine not many of you. Now let's walk through an example of how DNA-Center saves you time and it helps you simplify your everyday workflow. Here are the current steps to upgrade switch software. First, you identify your golden image. Let's say that takes you 30 minutes. Second, you deploy and send that software to your switches. Let's say that takes about an hour. Third, you perform that network update. That's about another hour. And lastly, you verify that update, another 30 minutes. A total of 3 hours. But with DNA-Center, you can do this in 5 minutes. Why? Well, because the appliance will do most of this work for you. In both cases, traditional network management or with DNA-Center, the impact to the network was identical. The difference is the DNA-Center takes a fraction of the time because of the complex tasks are now automated. As a result of these checks, DNA-Center ensures that you are confident about the state of your network before and after you update an image. Even better, you can check the image upgrade readiness to ensure your devices are compatible. And when you are ready, you can schedule the image to be updated now or schedule later for a time that is convenient for you. Moving on, here's the Assurance tab, and this is actually my favorite of all these tabs in DNA-Center. First off, if you have existing Cisco hardware on campus that you've purchased over the past 5 years, which is a long list of some of the most common switches, routers, access points, and wireless LAN controllers, you will find immediate value here in the Assurance tab. All you have to do is install DNA-Center on your network and discover the devices on your network. Voila! You now have awesome data to view what is actually going on in your networks. So let's take another time-saving example. A client is having a poor wireless connectivity issue. What do they typically do? First, the user reports the issue. Let's say that takes 30 minutes. Second, the help desk troubleshoots the issue. Possibly they need to do a site visit and drive to where they're at. Let's say that's another 90 minutes. Next, the issue gets escalated to a higher tier support and the engineer needs to replicate this issue. That could take 2 hours or more. We all know that wireless can be very delicate and fickle. Finally, the engineer needs to perform some level of analysis, and that takes another 30 minutes. Now let's look at how DNA-Center helps you. The user still takes 30 minutes to report the issue. That didn't change, but what changes is you can eliminate the troubleshooting and replication time because DNA-Center handles that for you. You still have the analysis to perform, but that is also simplified. In both cases, traditional network management or with DNA-Center, the impact to the user was identical. There is no difference there. The difference is that with DNA-Center is that it takes fraction of the time to reach a resolution. Let's see an example of why. Let's say a user named Gordon Thompson has an issue with his iPad. Eventually he calls technical support, and from there the support technician can look up Gordon and his iPad to see what the problem may be. From here, in the Client 360 view, we see a client health score in a range of 0 to 10, 10 being the best. We can take a closer look at what the iPad is having troubles with. What's the worst experience? We can also see the top issues reported for that device and receive suggested actions on how to best resolve this. Lastly, if you need to dig further, one of the coolest features in DNA-Center is that you can perform an intelligent capture directly from the access point. And from that, you can download the information into one of our network engineers' favorite tools, a PCAP file for Wireshark. Some engineers say if you don't have a PCAP, it didn't happen. Well, you can easily get one from here and even generate PCAPs from a previous time in the past. To me, that's that whoa moment I was talking about earlier. How cool is that? And last but not least is the Platform tab. Here, Cisco offers a broad set of APIs, SDKs, and adapters that extend the capabilities of DNA-Center to external applications, cross-architectural domains, systems and processes, and third-party devices. This allows DNA-Center to share network data and insights that can provide important intelligence-related information to businesses and IT operations. So that's a high-level overview of some of Cisco DNA-Center features and use cases. To recap, it's time to think differently about how you design your network. Think about it from an intent-based networking point of view. What are your users, applications, and devices trying to accomplish on the network? Take that information and use DNA-Center to design a smarter network that gets you out of the pain from the traditional networks that are often so complex and too difficult to operate. Finally, after putting all of this together, use DNA-Center. It will save you time. It will simplify your everyday workflow. There is plenty more to show you, and if you'd like to learn more about this, feel free to reach out to your Cisco account teams for a personal demo. They're always willing to help you. Thank you very much, and have a good day.